Hi, welcome to Eric's Welsh Garden. It's Friday evening and the weather has been absolutely lush today. At the beginning of the week it was really cold and rainy and haven't really been able to get out much this week. So going into the weekend with this lush weather is amazing. I'm going to get as much time as I can out here. On Facebook everyone seems to be pulling up their garlic now and their shallots and onions and things, so I'm really jealous of everyone's garlic because I didn't actually plant any this year, so that's my main thing for next year that I want to get planted. But in terms of my shallots, I've got them growing in like pots and my raised beds and stuff, and they all seem to be doing differently in terms of size and stuff, so that's been quite interesting really, but I don't think I'm going to pull mine yet. But if anyone's got any advice of what I should be doing with them for the next kind of couple of weeks, or whether people think I should just pull them now and dry them and stuff, let me know. But what I have done is the trough that I had, which is here, that was over on that side of the garden, it's been getting quite shady in the afternoon, so what I've done is I've just brought it out here now so that it can get some sun. I don't know if you can see, but yeah, there's quite a lot of bulbs on that one and going across to some smaller bulbs, so yeah, that's quite interesting. So if anyone's got any advice with what I should be doing with these before I pull them, whether it's giving them a feed or whether it's just just watering them loads or not at all, let me know, because I'd be really interested in that. And I'm not going to do a full garden tour today. I'll just show you some of my pumpkins that I've got growing and some of the stuff that I've been up to the last few days, and well, the last week, and go from there. So my runner beans are doing pretty well, growing up the supports now, which is pretty nice. I think the one behind has gone all the way to the top almost, and I've got flower buds forming on all of them now. And I did notice there's one down here that looks like it's gonna flower in a couple of days now. So how's everyone else's doing? Has anybody actually got runner beans forming yet? Let me know. So last week I showed you that my Uchiki Curie started to go black or brown, and it actually did fall off, but since then I've got one forming here which has grown really quickly, and I've got one up there as well. And my Munchkin pumpkins, the one on the right hand side seems to be doing much better, and I think I counted like 3. Look at that one, that's growing really nicely, and I've got one down there and another one down there, but on this side I think there's 1, 2, 3, oh there's 4 there, so possibly 5. So actually that one is doing better, but one had been nibbled, so I took that one off earlier. So because I'm going to be pulling my shallots really shortly, I had loads of Celariac that I'd bought. So what I've done now is I've just put some Celariac plants in this raised bed here, and there's some at the back there. So yeah, hopefully then when I do take these shallots out, I'll be putting some brassicas in there. I did also give this a really good weed actually because it was getting overrun. So on this side in the raised bed it doesn't get as much light over here, that's why I think the shallots are a lot smaller. But what I've done is I've put a couple of celariacs in here, and I had a Swiss chard there, so I'll quickly put that in. Oh, it looks like I did put a Swiss chard in here, but it's been eaten. So again, when the shallots come out here in a couple of days, then I will, or whenever I take them out, the brassicas will go in their place. This pot was on the wall on the right hand side next to my neighbour's garden, and it had the carrots in, but they all got eaten apart from one little carrot there. What I did was just take all the weeds out and then just put 2 celariacs in there just to chuck them in because I had so many and I didn't really want them kind of being wasted. I've got quite a few kind of almost red strawberries. This Mamand, which is pretty big, is starting to turn now, and I've got some red ones here and here, so pretty good. But the tomatoes in general, the plants are looking pretty manky, but they probably just need, well, they need a feed. I don't think it's blight. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong though, because that is looking a little bit bad. But yeah, let me know if you think that is blight or some other kind of disease or whatever. So the pumpkin patch here is completely overgrown. In hindsight, I don't think it was a really good idea to grow them up there, because all of the kind of other bulbs that are in there and crocosmia and stuff kind of are really taking over the place. But I don't know if you can see through here. I think this is one of the Cinderellas, so I do have one nice pumpkin growing in here, but I can't see any others at the moment, so hopefully there's some hiding in there that aren't being eaten by slugs. My Jerusalem artichoke's looking lovely, and this pumpkin that I've got that's kind of trailing down there isn't doing very well at all, and there isn't any pumpkins growing on it. So what I did on Monday in the rain was pot all of these Celariacs up. I think it is a little bit late to have been putting them in, and I'm pretty sure this pot, which maybe is like 3 litres or something, is way too small for them. But this is a mix of compost, shop bought compost and river sediment, like half and half in there. And I did move the gooseberry plants that I had in this overgrown area, which there are still pots in there and you can't even see them, so I saved those, and I also saved the strawberries. Now I don't know if you remember in my previous video when I actually put the strawberries in, I kept the pots from the strawberries and put some compost in there, had a stone ready to kind of plant the runners, and this was one of the runners that you can see that I did put a stone on. Now when I moved them the other day, I looked inside the one of the pots and there was a snail in there, and there were loads and loads of eggs, snail eggs. And then I looked in the other pot and it was full of eggs as well, so I was like, great, there's completely no point using these, because as soon as they hatch they're going to munch through all of the strawberries. So what I've done was just emptied it, and I need to at the weekend just refill them, because there's one coming off here that needs to be tethered, and another one there. So there you go. Now I do know that I shouldn't let them send out runners in the first year if I want like a decent amount of fruit. However, this is all the fruit I've got anyway from this plant, and I want to get more. So my plan was really this year just to let them kind of have as many babies as they wanted, and then next year I could then maybe let 1 or 2 have some babies, and hi Roach, and then concentrate on getting strawberries from the other ones. So my father-in-law also gave me some dahlias that he'd been growing, and he wasn't sure on the variety because he bought them in as plugs. So I've got 4 in here, and these were kind of the last ones I had. So yeah, there's 4 in here, and I put the rest of the dahlias just in my courtyard garden here. But by the looks of it, they have been really munched. But this year I haven't used any slug pellets whatsoever. So I have had a lot of casualties, like my first cucumber. That's my first cucumber here. As you can see, it's been well and truly munched. But considering I've not used any slug pellets in the garden whatsoever, I've got things growing, so I can't really complain, can I? And I've saved money on slug pellets. So yeah, I've got a cucumber there, not a cucumber, I've got a courgette there, and I've got, I think this is a munchkin pumpkin at the back, and I think there's another one there. So there you go. Hopefully these should grow quite nicely, but I've not watered them today, so I need to do a really good watering of everything in the garden now, and I've got some other chores to do, so I'll possibly show you what I'm up to. But if you're still watching, I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're enjoying watching my journey in my little Welsh garden. Thanks very much. Bye.